treatment services, doing for others. I think that's one of the areas where that as a community people forget that there are people out there that need help, regardless of how they got there. If you look at generational change, everything's in the name, right? Because we want to change people, families generationally.
Generational change came about to provide space for those that really want to be discipled by the Lord in a safe space with accountability, with structure, mentors, the body of Christ coming out of the four walls and loving on these very vulnerable people in our communities and loving them well and into wellness. Generational change desires to see them actually step into the journey of becoming sons of God and being truly adopted and letting go of an orphan spirit.
Generational change is really geared for faith organizations and communities to come together. There are so many churches in our communities that want to mentor, they want to disciple, they want to do things to better their front yard, better the community, but yet there's a level of know-how on the housing side. There's a level or a lack of knowledge in how to run a housing program, and that can be very daunting and scary. And what does that look like? So, and generational change comes in, and we partner with area churches that have a vision and that they have a heart for a specific vulnerable group. And then we come alongside and we listen to them, we help train, and then we provide the housing and the program piece while they provide the mentoring and the discipleship.
You've always got hesitation when you tell a congregation that you're going to have 10, 12 men coming out of prison, staying at a house and worshiping with you. This church had never been involved in anything like that before. There was a lot of questions, a lot of, what's going to happen, what's it really going to be like. But we worked through that. The Imparted Change came down. They did a lot of extensive training. It wasn't just show up and do this. They went through and did training after training, and finally they prepared us well for what was going to happen and how we should act, and did their job, and we took over and did ours, and it worked out very well.
What works with our partnership with the ETC is just our joint love for the Lord and love for others. As far as the passion that's there with ETC, especially with Coral and Michelle, for love and justice, to make opportunities for men to be successful, men and women.
My one takeaway as a believer in learning from Empowered to Change was really to differentiate that line between enablement and compassion, because I think especially as a believer, it's super easy to want to be compassionate, to want to reach out to those people in need, but we have to understand not everyone is ready for that. And at that point, helping really doesn't help, it hurts. And so there is a fine line, and I feel like working alongside of ETC has helped me to kind of differentiate that line. And while it's not always easy and it's not always fun, it is vitally important if we want to be, one, effective and utilize resources well, and truly impact change in people and in our community.
If you've come from a family where all you've seen is, destruction, abuse, divorce, alcoholism, drug usage, then someone has to stand up. I guess in the big picture, this is way big dream, right? I would like to see us touch each community, each state at least, but I'll just say community, to have a relationship with the body of Christ, as well as the people in that community, to show people what it means to actually change, to not have to live the same way, to see that, change does take a little work, and there might be some pressure in it, but what can happen down the line is more beneficial to not just the individual, but for the generations down the line and the community down the line if we just invest now.